Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Landskrona here in Skåne in the very south of Sweden, and for this one we're going to review a beer from one of these little really local breweries that you don't hear too much about, and I'm really excited to make a video for this beer because I have had this one on keg a couple of times and I do quite like it actually. So for this one we are going to go to Bryggkultur and we're having a taste of their Lill-Olas, which is an American pale ale coming in at 5.5% ABV. So I've drank this one before at the Speaker's Corner in Landskrona, and it's really nice on keg actually, so I'm very curious to see how it comes out of the bottle. So really looking forward to this one. I know this is a nice beer, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. I really like reviewing these little local breweries for you. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from Bryggkultur. Very first time I'm reviewing one of their beers, of course. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, tell you a little bit about Bryggkultur then. So these guys, as I mentioned to you, are based in Landskrona, and they were founded back in 2014 by Johan Lauren and Daniel Neumann, but the company is now, since 2017, exclusively run by Daniel, who has a background in graphic design, and he also runs two other companies simultaneously to this one, so it's a very small kind of one-man operation, this brewery. But both of these guys were home brewers, and they started their brewery after they felt their recipes had been refined enough to go commercial. But the production is very small, and the idea with this was based that this brewery would be a very local brewery, and they currently ghost brew their beers at Bryggkultur, who you've seen me review a number of beers from before, which is also located in Landskrona, and they produce around 10,000 litres of beer per year, and this beer itself is only sold in some local restaurants around Landskrona, and they sell it in the Systembolaget in Landskrona, and also the one in Rå, which is just kind of to the south of Helsingborg, if I'm remembering correctly. Those are the only two places you can actually get this beer. So yeah, and the name Bryggkultur is actually taken from the year that Landskrona was founded, so it's pretty cool. They said they wanted to be, it was Daniel that messaged me back through Facebook. He said that they basically wanted to have a product that was very local, and their beers are of course named after local things. Lill-Olas, of course, is it's a little area up near Borstahausen, which is where the beach is, which is pretty nice, and yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. As I say, I always enjoy reviewing these little very local breweries. But that's all you really need to know about Bryggkultur just now. If you want to learn a little bit more, they're updating their website at the moment. Hopefully that'll go commercial again, or that'll go active again soon, I should say, and you can follow them on Facebook and Twitter, I think, as well. I think they did have a Twitter when I was checking it out either. I think they've got Instagram too, so you can check out all of those different things, but I've put the brewery website for you in the description below, and you can check them out on Facebook, like I said. But yeah, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself, and I can get rid of the brewery notes now. And thank you, of course, to Daniel for providing the information for this video here. So basically, it was saying on the side here, it tells you a little bit about Landskrona and what the beer is named after, and it tells you a little bit about the flavours and things as well, and it says the name on the side here is from the year that Landskrona was founded, so that's kind of pretty cool. So yeah, and it says that this beer, we don't have our own brewery, but we phantom brew around southern Sweden, but I know that this one is brewed currently at Bryggkultur, but they've brewed in I forget what the other one. They brewed in Ystad for a little bit, it was saying on Rate Beer, and they've brewed it in one or two other places too. But yeah, a little ghost brewery, this one. Just let you have a little look at the artwork there. Quite nicely presented. I do like the labels on these. They've only got 4 beers actually. They've got Citadel, which is an IPA. They've got a collaboration Pils that they did with Bryggkultur, and there is another one there which I forget the name of. But yeah, nicely presented beer, this one. The Citadel has a blue label, of course. Plain bottle cap on this one. 5.5% American style pale ale. So yeah, let's get it out. And basically Daniel told me that his philosophy with the beers is that he just wants to do ones that are kind of nicely balanced and easy to drink. He's not interested in producing the funkiest beers. But yeah, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting then. Very curious to see how this one stands up in the bottle. So yeah, I remember this beer. What I'll say about the keg one is it's got a really nice little malty presence to it, the keg one, from what I remember. I did like that about it. It was a nice American pale ale, had a good little bit of hoppy freshness, but it was also balanced with a nice kind of malty quality as well. So as you can see with this beer, it's poured a nice kind of pale goldeny yellow colour, kind of pale straw yellow actually. Solid finger of a frothy, I would say very, I think, yeah, I would say perfect white head on this one. It is really nice. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there, and a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there. But you know, overall, looks pretty nice and pretty much what you would expect in terms of appearance from an American IPA. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see there is a bit of transparency to this one. I think it's just the condensation on the glass, although there is a little bit of haze to it as well. But yeah, pretty much what you would expect in terms of appearance from an American pale ale. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Ooh, yeah. It smells very, very similar in the bottle to what it does on keg. If you do want to try this beer on tap, by the way, you can get it at the Speaker's Corner in Landskrona. But yeah, lovely, nice kind of bready, biscuity malt base in there. Yeah, lovely little bit of bready and biscuity thing. I do wonder if they've used a bit of Pilsner malt in here actually. I wouldn't be surprised because it does have that kind of vibe about the aroma. It's got a nice sweet biscuitiness, a little bit of pale malt in there definitely, and some other kind of grainy notes too. But on top of that, you know, you get quite a fresh, there's quite a bit of grassy character to this one. The hops do smell very, very fresh actually. And I would say that you know, it's got a nice fresh grassiness to it. There's a little bit of a kind of almost lemony citrus. It's got a little bit of that grassy lemony sort of citrus, and I think there's a little bit, I think there's a wee touch of grapefruit in there. I do wonder if they've used Cascade in this one. I wouldn't be surprised actually if there's Cascade in this beer, just because there is that little bit of almost grapefruity note, but a little bit of floral quality as well. But yeah, I mean, overall, in terms of aroma, this one, it's not one that's going to blow you away with that, but the whole idea is that this is just a nice sessionable beer, but it does smell very, very fresh, and the thing that's sticking out with the aroma for me on this one is just how fresh these kind of grassy notes sound, and also I think a little bit of a presence of Pilsner malt in there too. So as I always say, take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But let's have a taste of this one now. So this one is the Lill-Olas, an American pale ale at 5.5% from Untitled Bryggkultur, a little ghost brewery located in Landskrona in Skåne here in the south of Sweden. Let's get stuck into this beer then. Slange, skål. Yeah, it's actually very similar in the bottle to how it behaves in keg, and that's one of the signs that it's been brewed well actually. I don't know if Dan, he didn't actually tell me whether he brews this himself or whether it's kind of contract brewed at the other, at Bryggkultur. The guys at Bryggkultur have been putting out some really nice beers incidentally recently, but you can tell with this one, it's really nicely done. I like how this beer kind of goes together. And it's very easy to drink. That's the one thing about this. It tends to be the case that I don't drink beers when I go out, because you know, most of the alcohol, or 95% of the alcohol to be honest, that I drink is the stuff that I review for you here on the channel, because obviously you want to look after your body and things like that. You don't want to drink too much. But it's one of the things, whenever I go to the Speaker's Corner, normally when I would go out I would just have like a Coke or something like that, but when I go to Speaker's Corner and they do have this on tap, you know, it's always one of these things that tempt me. So sometimes, yeah, I will drink a pint of this or a half litre of this in the bar, because it's just such a nice kind of session beer this is, and it's got the same freshness here that it does when you have it on the keg actually. That's the one thing that's really nice, and I guess that's probably the benefit of producing just on that very small scale that they do. But yeah, let's try and break the flavour of this one down then a little bit. So for me, this beer has a really nice sort of, the malt base in this one is quite, it almost just feels a little bit crisp to be honest. I do reckon there's a bit of Pilsner malt or something like that in here, there has to be. So with this one, you can feel it, it might even be Carapils, that could be the other one that it is. Because it has a little bit of that biscuity sweetness to it. But yeah, with this beer, you can feel that nice kind of pale malty quality, that just blankets the middle of your palate in there. On top of that, when you go a little bit more into the centre of your palate, you can pick out that sort of pilsnery, almost carapils type malt. And right in the centre of your palate, there might just be a little touch of a lighter kind of caramelly flavour in there. This is what I like about this one. I've always said that in reviews. When it comes to paleo and IPAs and stuff like that, I do like them to have a little bit of malty presence. In terms of the paleo style, this is definitely a West Coast paleo. It's by no means is this one of these New England hazy ones. Definitely a West Coast paleo, and it's got a lovely little bit of a sweet backbone to it, and that's what I really like. That, for me, beer is always subjective, but having a little bit of a sweet kind of caramelly biscuity malt base for me is what really hits the spot with this style of beer. So just pay attention to that when you drink this one. The malt base, I think, is really nicely balanced, and it's got a little bit of that light crispness that you would expect from like a German or a Czech Pils, something like that. But yeah, the back corners of the palate, then there's a tiny little bit of earthiness there. Very, very small, and as you come further forward it smooths out a little bit, and at the front corners of the palate you're getting a nice kind of little bit of a, it's not quite spicy, but it's got a nice kind of freshness to it. You've got a nice little bit of floral aromaticity there. Then round the very front curve of the palate, you've just got a sort of lighter, grassy sort of thing going on with this beer. But yeah, for me, I just like how it's going together. It's got a nice, the fruitiness in this beer, as I always say, you get that little oily bubble behind the front curve of your palate, and that's where the kind of nice juicy fruity notes come out of the beer. For me, you've got a nice little bit of that fresh, grassy, almost lemony citrus in there, but then behind the front curve of your palate, there's a little bit more going on in there. I think there's a little touch of tropical fruit to this one. Yeah, I think there's a wee tiny little bit of grapefruit in there, but it's more the fruity notes that come out of this one. It's almost a little bit more, it's almost kind of a little bit pineapple-y or something like that. But it's, yeah, a little bit of pineapple. There could be a little touch of like an orangey note to this one as well. I'd be curious to know what hops they've used in. I was thinking from the aroma that it might be a sort of kind of, it would be a Cascade one, but it's not. And I noticed that on the side here. I actually just said that it says that they think that pineapple flavours come out of this one. So yeah, obviously my palate's obviously my palate works. But yeah, with this one, I think a little bit of pineapple, as I was saying. There's a little touch of grapefruit in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a wee bit of Cascade in here. I think they'll maybe use 1 or 2 hops in this beer. I think there's a little touch of Cascade in here, and it was the aroma that made me wonder if there was a little bit of that in there. But you've got a nice kind of lemony, grassy sort of citrus on the front kind of curve of the palate there, so it's all very, very well balanced, and it's one of these beers that's just really easy to drink. That's what I like about this one. As I say, it's one that when I go out, if I see this on tap, I'm always tempted for it, because it is just a nice little local thing there. So yeah, to me it's just a really nice solid American pale ale, this one. It's not one that's going to kind of blow the head off you, it's one that's just kind of a nice sort of subtle easy drinker. So if that's your thing, then definitely have a go at this beer. I would recommend this one in terms of the American pale ales that I've come across in Sweden so far, and it's quite cool actually. You know, I've had some from some of these very, very small breweries. You get some interesting things like the Svinborden Lager I had from the Viking Brewery a few videos back. That was a really, really good Pilsner beer, and that was, again, that's one of the smallest craft breweries you're going to find in Sweden. And these guys, you know, one of the smaller breweries yet again, and they've got a really, really nice American pale ale. So have a go at this one for yourself and see what you think. In terms of the mouthfeel then, for me, kind of somewhere between light and mid-bodied, this beer. Carbonation does have a good little bit of crispness to it, and that helps bring out some of these nice pilsnery malts, I would say. Nice little bit of an... the mouthfeel overall, it does have a little bit of wetness to it, which helps the crispness, but it's also got a little touch of an oily note as well. Some nice hoppy bitterness in there, a little bit of juicy fruit, and it's got a good kind of slightly sweet malty backbone to it as well. So it's pretty much got everything you would want from the style, and as I say, I really rate this as an American pale ale. Definitely one of these nice West Coast pale ales. So big thumbs up to Bryggkultur for the beer that they've produced here. It is a really, really solid beer, and if you get the chance to try it on tap, it is really nice as well. I think the malty characters come out just a little bit more on the keg version. So have a go at this beer if you get the chance. But yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. It's been really nice to review the Lill-Olas for you. This is a beer that I've been enjoying the last little while. So I'm glad that I was able to make a video for the channel here. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Bryggkultur if you have managed to try them. This is a very, very small local brewery, like I said, only 10,000 litres a year. But yeah, really glad I got to review this one. So thank you again for watching. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Check out my social media, and I will catch you guys very soon. This was the Lill-Olas American Pale Ale from Bryggkultur, a little ghost brewery in Landskrona here in Skåne in the south of Sweden. Until the next time, it's landed just now, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Skål!